lost at sea, Robert Throgmorton funded an expedition to discover the origin of the mass hysteria gripping Oakmont. The expedition was to explore the seabed near Oakmont. Contact with the expedition was soon lost. Albert Throgmorton was the only known survivor. He was subsequently murdered. I was hired to find any other expedition members, dead or alive. Throgmorton will be waiting for my report in his manor in southern Old Grove. Interesting. Lagging. Oh my gosh, what is happening?
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
I've said everything I know.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
Remain staying for much longer, gain more experience from the solicit. I mean, yes, please. Ooh, my sanity is higher. I mean, obviously it is, but it's like kind of laggy. My diary, part 1. I don't know what exactly sank the USS Cyclops, only remember the screams in the metal creaking. water filling the deck, and my headache, the worst I've ever had. I found myself among the floating seaweed, drowning. A nearby piece of a boat helped me survive and reach the shore of a small island. They found me on it later, starving, half-mad, and babbling about the ancient ruins and their denizens. The officials said none of what I thought I'd seen was real, but my memories are true. My strange powers gained after that ordeal prove it. I found something horrible on that island, something old and dark and slithering, and it still haunts me. Interesting.
Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brothers.
Is that always brave or always faithful? Or is it always strong? I can't remember. All that we see or seem is just a dream within a dream. Charles W. Reed, 3/21/17 to 10/9/94. I'm guessing that's the 1900s.
Never again, they say.
A plea for help. Dear Mr. Reed, I understand you're the private eye that caught the murderer in the port. My life is in danger and I cannot trust anyone in this city. Please come to my room, which is just opposite yours. I am in despair. My studies have drawn the attention of vile forces. They stalk me and will take me soon. I have cast my lot and am beyond saving, but the 7 books must be saved at any cost. Even if I'm gone, find my notes there. This knowledge must not be lost, as it could be our kind's last hope for enlightenment. Please be the bearer of this light, for I have failed. Interesting. There's a side case. Oh. Antipsychotics and a first aid kit. Interesting. I mean, I kind of like the newcomer outfit. Raids on Innsmouthers. The number of attacks on the Innsmouth immigrants has increased. Raids are intensifying, with more and more Innsmouthers exposed to abuse and assault. Sometimes whole families are found dead in their houses. Police are on the case, with several illegal Innsmouther businesses captured and their owners sent to jail. This city ought to have been clean of these fish-faced scum long ago, said Robert Throckmorton, head of the Throgmorton Grand family. I regret only one thing. It all started too late. Had we not neglected our civic duties, my son Albert would still be here with us. Interesting. Well, there's a really grungy bathroom. A chamber pot? Note from J. Vanderberg. Mr. Reed, it seems that you overexerted yourself while conducting the investigation for Mr. Throgmorton. Forgive me for the audacity, but I brought you to the Devil's Reef while you were unconscious. Please take more care of yourself in the future. I will be there for you every time. Johans. Okay. I like how you can just walk into doors. Okay, so that's one. It had the symbol on it. I can't be the only one that saw that. With the weird markings. It freaks me out when the door is closed in this game. Home in the ruins. Local women were talking about a ruined house in Central Coverside near the radio tower on the crossing of Landing Avenue and Kingsport Street. They said the ghosts of the house owner and his family still read the unholy book they kept. Several newcomers who tried to settle in those ruins have gone mad. Radio tower and central cover side. And the crossing of Landing Ave. Landing Ave. Here's Kingsport. Uh-huh. It's like right there. Book in the bank. Talking with locals is never easy, but this old chap was one of the queerest yet. He was happy to talk about the book, but only laughed when I proposed to buy it. I left it in the most guarded place of the city and paid enough to keep it there until the world ends. And if it is abandoned after the flood, even better. Ignorance is the best guardian. I'm guessing he meant the abandoned bank building in Northern Advent on Forefathers Street between Hillock Street and Windhoff Avenue. Alas, it would be too dangerous to go there myself. Northern Advent on Forefathers Street between Hillock Street and Windhoff Ave. So like here. The Hidden Book. It took a lot of effort to track down this book. After being stolen from the Throgmorton Museum, it was bought by a local surgeon who was found dead in his house after the flood. I snuck in and checked out his place, but in vain. Still, there is somewhere else that home may be. The private hospital on Western Reed Heights, where the surgeon worked, has been abandoned. The archive site is on Bourbon Road between Innsmouth Road and Oak Street. Okay. Western Reed Heights, so over here. Bourbon Road between Innsmouth Road and Oak Street. So like here. Interesting. Waiting Book. Building the church was his redemption. Day after day he worked without payment, carrying stones and putting them in the moist soil of Salvation Harbor. At night when he returned to his house behind the church, he could not sleep. The book his ancestors brought across the ocean called. When the church was built, the priest found him hanged on the bell ropes, but the book is still waiting for someone to come and read it. His house is in central Salvation Harbor on the Old Church Road between 7 Oak Street and Windtime Street. Still has a bad fame and no one wants to live there even after the flood. So that's 4, so there should be 3 more. Salvation Harbor. Old Church Road. Between 7 Oaks Street. Windheim and 7 Oaks. So I guess it's like right here. Bewitched Tome. The local legends may be more than mere superstition. A dozen witches were hanged on a huge apple tree that still grows near the cider mill. Among these documents is a confession. One of the witches said the devil himself granted them a book with words of power. This book hides itself from mortal eyes, waiting for the witches to be reborn and return to claim it. The witch who wrote the confession lived in eastern Reed Heights, somewhere north of the intersection of Communion Road and Museum Avenue. Could the book still be hidden there? I don't know. Eastern Reed Heights, so over here. Intersection of Communion Road and Museum Ave. North of the intersection, so like here. The wheel tone. I had a dream so real it still makes my hands shake. A huge Ferris wheel rose amidst the city. People got on and rode it higher and higher before jumping off at its peak. As the pile of corpses grew bigger, the crowd pushed me to the wheel, and then I saw a man with a leather bag. He was standing in the center of the wheel and reading from a book. His awful dirge was making the wheel rotate and dragging the crowd to their slaughter. Could this vision be real? I know there is a Ferris wheel at the park in western Old Grove near Century Ave and Beacon Street, but where could the book be? Okay, so we have 6, there's one more. Western Old Grove. Near Century Ave and Beacon Street. I think this is the park. The Tome of the Mayor. The fishermen talk of a place near the Blackwood Manor, on the southern part of Whisper Street, where meetings occur in the dead of night. The locals don't like this part of eastern Grimhaven Bay, because they seem to fear those who gather near the half-built ships. They say a certain book is read at these meetings, a cursed tome that makes people so crave the sea's touch that they go and drown in the ocean. The one reading the book stands on a cursed boat that sinks in the fog. Those who saw it touch the shore have either gone mad or disappeared. Okay. Eastern Grimhaven on the southern end of Whisper Street. The southern end of Whisper Street, near the road to Blackwood Manor. I do not know what Blackwood Manor is. I'm guessing that's the manor, so I mean, there. The nightmares. I boarded up the windows and locked the door. They are just men, the Yellow King's game. They can't get here now. Now there's only me and these nightmares. A little longer and I'll figure them out. Did you say you locked the doors? The door sure wasn't locked. But it says the Yellow King's game. Okay.
Makes this place feel more like home.
Private detective.
I miss Boston already.
Groceries from Boston. Interesting.
The door won't budge.
So I do come here eventually. Keep it down. Mr. Archer, I've seen you dragging things into your room. Mind the floors. I'll make you pay for any scratches you leave. You're a landlord. Well, who's Mr. Archer? I can't remember. So I guess eventually we're gonna have to go into that room. I did not expect that door to open. Yeah, okay, so they have those marks. Gunpowder and alcohol. Too many coincidences. So the lighthouse is out, several ships have gotten lost at sea, and some are now decorating the city's beaches. That's one thing, but now there's an enterprising fellow at the city port hiring salvagers to recover ships. He's turning a tidy profit from selling them. Can't be a coincidence, need to look into it. Now if only the city wasn't so impossible to navigate. Okay, is that it? I guess that's it. So I guess if the door's blue, it means I can go. Or not. That's not creepy at all.